What's up? I'm the Alaskan Snow Monkey. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 5 myths that people from the lower 48 states think are true about Alaska. Let's jump right into it. Myth number 5. There are no major cities in Alaska. Now, if you're talking about population centers like New York, LA, Chicago, then no, there really aren't any major cities in the state, and admittedly most places are going to be small towns and villages, just kind of scattered about, hard to get to. But if you look at something like Fairbanks, it has a population of 32,000, and Anchorage, which is where I'm going to be moving in about 2 months, sits at around 325,000 people. So there are definitely small to mid-sized cities in Alaska, and there's a mix of cultures. There's a mix of nightlife, and there definitely are population centers there. Myth number 4. You have to be some type of survival expert to make it up there. And this really isn't true. Are there people that choose to live off-grid lifestyles and hunt and fish for their own food to survive and live through the winter in cabins that they've built themselves? Yeah, and admittedly, Alaska probably has a higher amount of people that do that than other states just due to its remoteness. But you gotta remember, Alaska is huge. You can choose if that's what you want to do, to live a survivalist lifestyle, or like me, I'm a city slicker. You can choose to set up shop in a densely packed metropolitan area like Anchorage. There's so much space out there that you can choose to do whatever you want to do and live however you want to live. Myth number 3, they pay you to live there. This is an interesting one, and it's somewhat true. Once you've lived in the state for one full calendar year, you qualify for what's called the Permanent Fund Dividend, or PFD. After this, it's paid out every year, usually around sometime in October. I think 2022 is going to be sometime in September. But this isn't going to be anything that you could survive off for a whole year. It's not universal basic income. In fact, the average payout per resident is around $1,600 to $2,000, so it's a nice chunk of change, but it's not any I don't have to work any more money. And I think a lot of people that do want to move to Alaska look at the PFD as something like a UBI, where I move up there and they'll pay me to live there and I never have to work again, and that's not really the case. It's oil money, and it's a nice chunk of change, but you still need a job. Myth number 2. It's freezing cold year-round. This one just isn't true. Now, albeit winters in Alaska, they're going to be pretty bad just due to how far north Alaska is. But because there's so many different regions in the state, you end up with a wide variety of weather conditions. For example, Anchorage's average temperature in the summer reaches around 70 Fahrenheit, but it can dip down to almost -20 during the coldest part of the winter. Fairbanks can get up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer and can dip down as low as -40 in the winter. Even Barrow, which is the northernmost inhabited area in the United States and well above the Arctic Circle, can get up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit in some months during summer. And finally, the number 1 myth about Alaska: there's 24 hours of darkness during the winter. This is by far the most common thing I hear when I tell people I'm moving to Alaska. They always ask, how are you going to deal with the weeks/months of darkness? And to be fair, there are places like Prudhoe Bay and Barrow that do have a few weeks out of the year where it's just completely dark during the winter and where the sun never sets during the summer. But I mean, Alaska is a massive place. If you were to impose it like a map of Alaska on top of the lower 48, it would take up almost half of that. I think I saw a statistic once that said Alaska was larger than California, Texas, and Maryland combined. So I mean, it's massive. So you do get regions like that where there are just times of complete darkness and complete sunlight during the year, but you have regions like Anchorage or the Kenai Peninsula, southern South Central Alaska, where it does get pretty dark during the winter and doesn't really get dark at all during the summer. Maybe 4.5 hours of daylight during the depths of winter, and 17 and a half hours of daylight during the summer. But all of Alaska is not going to be just that one movie with the vampires and total darkness for like 30 days. I forget what the name of it's called, but alright, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider giving this video a like, and if you want to see future videos from me, hit that bell notification icon. That way you can stay up to date on all of my future videos. Until next time, guys, have a great rest of your day.